Blimey, that's exciting. Hello, my name is Richard, and I've just popped up in your inbox. I shan't keep you very long, I'm sure someone like you has lots and lots of other things to be doing. But I thought I'd just pop by and give you some news that I've had about this. CONMAN. Now, CONMAN is the book that I wrote about a year ago, and it came out published by the nice people at No Exit Press, as you can see there. No Exit. Actually, that actually means no entry, but don't tell them. This is the book I wrote for them back, as I say, last June. And it was published to literally no fanfare whatsoever, despite getting some rather nice reviews. So, there I am one day, when the telephone rings, a little bit like this. Ring, ring. Hello? The Crime Writers Association, how can I help you? It's been nominated for what? No, get out of here. Well, bless my soul. Which was kind of how it went. And it turns out that CONMAN, by me, has been nominated for the most prestigious award that something can be nominated for, that's a crime novel. Essentially, the crime novel of the year, what they like to call the Golden Dagger. Yes, the CWA Golden Dagger 2010 has nominated this little fellow as one of the best crime novels of 2010. So what's it all about? Well, CONMAN is the story of young Neil Martin, a family man and a bit of a geek. Well, if I tell you he likes to read things like this, and he loves to read things like this, then that's pretty much everything you need to know about. He is having a bit of a problem at home. He runs a comic memorabilia store, and he's had something of a flood. So all of his stock, and all the stock that he borrowed off somebody else, oops, is about to be lost. What does this mean? Well, this essentially means bankruptcy, repossession. His wife, who's very understanding, but is used to the finer things in life, is obviously going to leave him, and probably take, yes, the new baby girl. Essentially, things for Neil Martin aren't looking so great. When who should come visiting, fortuitously one afternoon, but an old fellow called Christopher. Christopher looks a little bit like this. Hello, I'm Christopher. Now, I'm a confidence trickster. I make no bones about it, you know. Oh, yes, a confidence trickster. Now, Neil, old chap, old fellow, old what's-it, my lad. I wonder if you might do me a favour. You see, I know of a little fellow who's coming along who I'd quite like to swindle. Swindle, yes, you see. And I'd like to swindle him using your little comic memorabilia store. I know he happens to be a bit of a collector of the finer things in life, and by finer things in life, I'm obviously talking about things like this priceless item. Oh, yes. The first Superman comic. So if I can borrow your little store just for a minute or two, you won't be involved, obviously. If I could borrow your store for a minute or two, I'd cut you in, old bean, on however much I managed to swindle off this Yankee fellow. What do you say to that? John Neil's an honest fellow. He doesn't want to do any harm, but he's a family man, as I said. But of course, the wolves are at the gate, the bailiffs are at the door, and the armies are where it is. Armies go. So he agrees. Against his better judgment, possibly, but he agrees. Yes, Christopher, he says. You can borrow my store for one day only in order to do this little swindle, as long as you cut me in on the profits. Absolutely, Albine. Wouldn't dream of swindling you out of the profits. You are, after all, helping us out. So how does £100,000 sound for an afternoon's work? Ha ha ha! At which point, of course, Neil says, fantastic, let's do it. Unfortunately, it's at this point that the truth is revealed. Perhaps this fellow who they're conning isn't the target after all. Yeah, perhaps this fellow, Christopher, has his eye on something else, and maybe Neil has entered himself into a whole world of trouble, and it's going to mean he's going to have to switch, swap, and swindle his way back to safety for fear of losing his life and his entire world. Anyway, that's the premise of the novel. If I had to sum it up, I would say imagine High Fidelity by Nick Hornby rewritten by David Mamet, and there, I think, you'd be on the money. So what am I asking you to do? Well, nothing really. I'll just say this. If you happen to come across CONMAN, pick it up. You might enjoy it. It's got some laughs, it's got some thrills, and boy oh boy, a twist you're never going to spot coming. And finally, a little bit of advice. If you don't come across the book CONMAN, but you come across an actual CONMAN, then I'll just say this. If it seems too good to be true, then it probably is.